All right, if anybody needs a repeater for emergency or priority traffic, please break in at any time. With break in your call sign, we will gladly concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Sorry about that short delay there. I heard the calls of help from the barn and I had to go run out and see what it was. All is good though. No big deals there. All right. This is the Wednesday night Jokenet here on the 146895 repeater. This is a directed net. I am the net control. All traffic should go through the net control. Everyone with a valid amateur radio license is encouraged to participate. This net meets every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on this repeater. And the purpose of this net is to have fun, making each other laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around or you might miss something. Before I get on the list of regular check-ins, let me just say this repeater is owned and operated by Tom, NHCT. It is available for public use. Obviously, you can reach it via RF, and it has a standard offset and a PL tone 141.3. You can get to it via Echolink, and the node for that is W8IJC-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got a 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions. Other than that, we are good to go. I'm going to break for time, and we're going to go down a list of regular check-ins, and we'll see who else here tonight. As soon as I find my pen, I had a pen here. Here it is. There we go. We'll start right at the top of the list. KC8LAR. Jeff, are you with us this evening?
KC8LAR, present.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us tonight. Always a pleasure having you. Let's reach out to Dan, N8DRL. All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully he'll check in with us in a little while. He's probably had a long day working at the campground there. How about Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet?
Good evening. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
All right, Wayne, thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate it. We'll reach out to Dave over in Cleveland Heights, K8TIE.
Cleveland Heights. It's kind of nice. It's been kind of cloudy all day in the Cleveland Heights area, actually. But it's good to hear you, Nemo. Good to hear the net. And we'll probably get a very good thing going together. KATIE, back to net control.
W8IJC link.
All right, very good. Yeah, I think everything's going to work out just fine. Hey, we'll go over to Vito, Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India.
AD8OI here, it's XYL. Back to net.
All right, very good. We got you down as a +1 and in the log. How about Drew, Alpha 8, Delta Lima? All right, nothing heard there. We'll keep on moving. We'll go down to, we'll see if Jim's with us tonight. KE8, LFR. All right, nothing heard from Jim. He's probably playing Parent Taxi. I know how that used to be. All right, how about we try one time tonight? We'll reach all the way out to Hiram, see if he's with us. W8KNO, break the squelch, and you're in there.
W8KNO, present, Nemo.
W8KNO, sounding loud and clear. Thank you for joining us tonight, Joe. Always a pleasure having you. How about Tom, KE8QWG? All right. Well, hopefully he'll be checking out with us later on. Anyway, we'll try across the Great Lake of Erie, and we'll see if our friend Bruce is joining us this week. Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie.
Yeah, it's Bruce, Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie. Had a bit of issues with the Echolink. I'm also wondering, it does sound like the voices are a bit distorted when you raise your voices, so I don't know if it's the Echolink fault or if it's something else. Anyway, I'm here, so that's good.
All right. Well, we've got you coming in on this side, and sometimes the internet IP stuff is not as quick as we'd like it to be. That's for sure. Although I don't know why. Voice is only 1,200 baud, so it shouldn't be a thing. But internet delays, sometimes the distance, all that stuff. I'm sure that probably plays a factor in it. I don't know what else to say. All right, we'll go to Kevin, Ke82025, if he's around. He's usually mobile. Okay, well, he's not out here fox hunting tonight, I guess, or maybe they're not done. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll check in a little while. I know once or twice a month they're doing fox hunts over with the other Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club, and that's always fun. I just don't have time to do it myself anymore, and now it's on Wednesdays, so there you go. All right, this is Ke8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. Is there anybody I might have missed or anybody who would like to check in? Please call. Ke8ZHH, Frank, good to have you with us tonight, sir. Glad to have you on the radio and the net. Appreciate you being in here tonight. Absolutely. Anybody else want to check in? All right, nothing heard. We'll lock the list in as I have it. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Let's get into this week's joke. And this week's joke is, why don't flies land on computers? This week's joke, why don't flies land on computers? And you know what? We're just going to go straight down the list tonight. So, Jeff, we're going to put you in the hot seat, man. Why don't flies land on computers? Take it away, KC8LAR.
To be in the hot seat once again, why don't flies like computers? Because they have Windows screens. I'm going to go with that. KC8LAR, back to that.
All right, because they have Windows screens, and I have a digital answer that came across here, because computers bite. Because computers bite. That's the digital answer I have from somebody. Listen over the internet. All right, Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. Why don't flies land on computers?
Yeah, goodness. They don't want to be deleted.
All right, they don't want to be deleted. Flies don't land on computers because they don't want to be deleted. All right, we'll go to Dave. Dad, good to have you with us tonight. K8TIE, why don't flies land on computers?
Oh, early in the list. Oh, man. in that control.
All right, because Lord of the Flies, they don't worship computers. I guess that's a good answer to me. Good book and a great movie, my opinion, absolutely. We'll keep on going. We'll go to Vito Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India. Why don't flies land on computers?
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India here. Actually, I was going to give her answer, then I'll give mine.
Because they're afraid of getting zapped.
As hers was, they're afraid of getting zapped, just in case you couldn't hear. And mine is, they're afraid of getting stuck in the web. Back to that.
All right, good two answers there. Afraid of getting zapped and afraid of getting stuck on the web. All right, very good. We'll keep on going down the list to Joe, W8KNO. Finally broke through the static and got in here this week. Appreciate you being here, man. Why don't flies land on computers?
I have no idea. No idea. Thank you.
All right, very good. No idea. I got that in there. Thank you for that, Joe. Appreciate you being with us tonight. All right. How about it, Bruce? Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie. Why don't flies land on computers?
I'm having issues with this thing tonight. I think it's because the computers have debugging software, but I'm surprised because Windows does seem to be a buggy operating system. So I don't know which would be truer, the debugging or the buggy software.
All right, because computers have debugging software. We're getting some great answers tonight. And don't worry, we'll call out one more time for check-ins in just a minute here. But we'll, in the meantime, go down to Frank, KEHZHH. Why don't flies land on computers?
KEHZHH, I was going to say, because they're scared of the World Wide Web. And I guess I'll say that. Or, I'll say, because they're scared of the static electricity on the screen. That's my answer, static electricity. KEHZHH, back to that control.
All right, they don't want to get zapped while your hair is standing on end. Very good, I like that. Good answer. Excellent, excellent. This is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. That rounds out the list as I have it. But before we get into the actual answer, let me put one more call out to anybody who might want to check in. This is KE8PVL.
KE8QWG.
KE8QWG, got you in there, and thanks for joining us tonight. Anybody else? All right, Tom, thanks you for being here tonight. KE8QWG, we are still in the joke round, so you're right up in there, and we'll get you there. So why don't flies land on computers?
They're afraid of getting a virus.
All right, they're afraid of the virus. There's plenty of viruses on lots of computers, that's for sure. All right, that rounds it out. One more call out. Anybody want to check into the Wednesday Night Jokenet? All right, nothing heard. This week's joke: why don't flies land on computers? And it's because they're afraid of the webs. Absolutely, that's what I've got. They're afraid of the webs. But every other answer was a good one tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Well, some quick thinking this net requires. at least in the first round. Anyway, hey, that's it. Let me take a quick break for time. I'll run the announcements, and then we'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, the Aries District 10 Ashtabula County Emergency Services Training Net is every Monday night at 8 p.m. on this repeater. That's the 146895 repeater that we're all on. It's got a standard offset and a PL tone of 141.3 and an Echolink node of W8IJC-L. Check into the Emergency Services Net. Even if you're not just local to Ashtabula County, we appreciate everybody checking into whatever nets are running around here. Also, the Ashtabula County, speaking of net, Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club's weekly net, that's every Thursday night at 8 p.m. over on the 146715 repeater. And that repeater also has a standard offset and a PL tone of 141.3, but the Echolink node for that repeater is N8CT-L. Check them out. There's a good group of folks over there that run that net every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Also, the Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula, we're going to be changing our monthly meeting dates. That monthly meeting date has moved to the second Saturdays of the month at 6 p.m., still at 3600 Stanhope, Kelloggsville Road over here in Jefferson. The clubhouse is also known as the Jefferson Conservation Club, and we appreciate them allowing us to have our meetings in there every month. It's a big help out for our radio group here. Speaking of Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula, we will be setting up at the 135th Annual Pioneer Picnic Festival coming up here and August 29th through September 1st. We will be running an event station operating under the club call KC8OH, and hopefully we'll be checking people out and we'll be doing a demonstration. We'll have information regarding ham radio and what we do. We'll try and get some folks on the air. We'll do a little bit of everything while we're there, reaching out, pushing the flesh, as it were. And one last announcement: next week is the Wednesday night Jokenet82025 Open Mic Night. So if you have a discussion topic you would like to be brought to the table, we'll open the floor for you. We can just let me know at the beginning of the check-in, and we'll put you on the list of people who might have one, and we'll flip a coin, see who gets it. All right, that's it. That's the end of my announcements. So let me get into why everybody's really here. And since we're starting off at the top of the list, that means Jeff, KC8LAR. Great to have you with us tonight, sir. And what do you got for the group this evening?
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. No, not a whole lot. Just doing some stuff around the house. Mrs. was off with a high school friend having dinner, so I have the house to myself for a bit. Kind of nice. Doing a little work here and there and trying to catch up on some odd projects while I still can. Other than that, not a whole lot going on here radio-wise. So we'll pass it back to Net Control. This is KC8LAR.
All right. Well, as always, stick around for the discussion round. We've got a good discussion topic tonight, and I'm sure you've got a good story to fall into this category with. So we'll move it on the list here to Wayne, though. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. What do you got for the group?
I've been busy doing stuff, work stuff, that kind of stuff. Just going to start working next week, so. Other than that, not been too much. Might do Porter tomorrow. I'll have to go see what's going on with that. But just keep busy, a lot of stuff, busy work, that kind of stuff. Back to that, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
Well, I feel you on that. I've been getting busier and busier, but I've been trying to reach out and do more things lately and make a few more things happen in the world, and I think I'm doing it. All right, we'll keep on going. We'll move down the list to Dave, K8TIE. Dad, good to have you with us tonight, and what do you got for the group?
Well, some news again a bit. My grandson from Hawaii has decided to hitchhike across country following the Rainbow Gathering. Isadora had gone with a lot of them way back when she hitchhiked across country and got herself a ride with somebody out to Hawaii, which has been her home for quite some time. So Noah is now following it after spending a couple of weeks here in Cleveland. And one thing that he knows and showed off was how much you could harvest from your own lawn if it had not been run through something like I forget what is it, what the commercial one is, but the one that used Agent Orange in it. It was a crabgrass killer. But we didn't have any of that in the lawn, and so the lawn was overgrown, and he found all kinds of edibles in the lawn and fixed up soups and stuff like that. And while he was here, so that was neat to understand that if everything disappeared, the earth was very, very generous in what it had if you knew what to look for. And it turns out that there's quite a bit there. So that's interesting, and I'm going to keep an eye on that kind of thing, because there are some rather interesting facts around biology and anatomy and digestive systems and all that makes the whole thing work a lot cleaner and more effectively for people than we think. Okay, TI, back to that control.
W8IJC link.
All right, very good. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about being able to forage off the land, and that's an important skill to have. Interestingly enough, I just talked to somebody over the weekend about that too, and he was very knowledgeable about it, and I look forward to sitting down with him again in another month or so and actually doing some real bushcraft work with him. Anyway, let's keep on moving down the list. We'll move down to Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India and Company. Thank you, Vito, for being here tonight. And what do you got for the group?
How's everybody doing tonight? Recovering from some brain freeze. Had a couple things with Italian ice after dinner and paid for it for eating it too fast. And now I'm just playing around on doing some 3D modeling, trying to figure some stuff out here. Back to that.
All right. Yeah, I had brain freeze at the fair the other day. We got some milkshakes because, you know, we got the whole dairy industry thing going on here, and they have a good milkshake stand over there at the fair, and by the time I was halfway through it with the heat and everything, I had brain freeze, that's for sure. All right, we'll go down to W8KNO. Joe, thanks for joining us tonight, man, breaking through the trees. What do you got for the group?
Good evening to everyone, Nemo. I'm operating on my quarter-wave ground plane, and it's 1.5 S units stronger in the receive mode, and I'm using that, and I'm glad I can get through. Last weekend, I went to the Warren Ham Fest, won a $25 gift certificate for being the oldest amateur there. It's quite exciting. And this weekend, there's the Ohio QSO party and the Hawaii QSO party. So with that, back to you then, KE8PBL, W8KNO.
Yeah, roger that. I forgot to mention that because and normally I do this time of year because the Ohio QSO party and our Pioneer Picnic event that we show up at oftentimes falls on the same weekend, but it just happens to not be that way this year. But I bet next year it will be, and we'll be doing both at the same time. All right. Very good. We'll keep on going down the list here. We've got Bruce, Victor Echo 6, Tango. Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie. Bruce, sorry about that. I can't read my own scribble. Go ahead, man. All right. Well, he did say he was having some problems with his Echolink. We'll circle back to him in just a minute. In the meantime, we'll keep on going down the list. We'll go to Frank, KE8ZHH, my neighbor down the road. Good to have you on the net with us tonight, sir. And what do you got?
Thanks, Timo. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right. Been working on fishing lures, making homemade fishing lures, painting jigs, and been doing a lot of that past couple weeks. Hope to make it out of pontoon on my fishing boat next week sometime. The south end, I'm going to try the south end, fishing that. Got a lot to do around the house, but it can wait. The gutters need cleaning, and I need to get at least one more truckload of firewood. And I'll just wait till it gets a little cooler and stops raining. Glad it rained. We needed the rain. And got a Weber kettle charcoal grill after all these years. My wife, Catherine, bought me I think it was a Brinkman, one of them square ones. And it lasted, 33 years, and, it's about kaput. And we grilled on it the other night, and, I thought about it. Yeah, it lasted a real long time, and, I seen the Webers, and I said, well, time to get a new one. Glad I got it. We haven't tried it out yet, but we'll be trying it out pretty soon. And, well, with that, that's about it. Been keeping busy, and, I'm going to try to make it out to Pioneer Picnic and visit everybody that's there. And, yeah, take care, everybody. Glad to be on Jokenet tonight, and we'll send it back to Nemo. And it's KE8ZHH. Thanks for listening.
All right. Well, doing them fishing lures, that's an art form in itself, that's for sure. And everybody I know that does fishing lures, they all have their own special tricks and techniques to do it, and that's a really cool thing. But hey, we'll look forward to seeing you out there at the Pioneer Picnic. That would be great to have you come and hang out and say hello. Man, I looked at the Facebook page for the event, and the event listing has like almost 3,000 people confirmed already, saying that they were going to be there. So it's a big one this year, man. It's crazy. They're really going all out. They're going to have bull riding. They're going to have tractor pulls. They're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It'll be a regular fun time fair, that's for sure. All right. We'll keep on going, though. We've got Tom, KE8QWG, with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate the check-in, even if it is just a little bit behind schedule. I feel you on doing that. I had to start the net a minute or two late today, too. What do you got for the group?
back here on the net. I just been staying fairly busy around here, trying to catch up on all the stuff I let go for a few months. I bought an antenna a few years back, a couple years ago. I finally got it up this past week, and just playing around with all that and just trying to catch up with everything. And Pioneer Picnic sounds like it'll be a pretty good time. So I plan on being out there myself. And other than that, that's about all I got. Back to net.
All right, very good on that antenna build, and actually that'll bring us into tonight's discussion topic when we get there, because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, antennas. All right, this is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet, and before I go any further, is there anybody else that would like to check in? Please call.
KE8LFR.
All right, the net recognizes KE8LFR. Jim, thank you for joining us tonight, sir. Appreciate you being here. I was just assuming you were out playing taxi, but hey, man, tonight's joke: why don't flies land on computers? Why don't flies land on computers? And take it away, sir.
Man, that doesn't give me much time to think. I have no clue. I have nothing.
All right, well, the answer was, at least my answer was, because they're afraid of the webs, but there was some really good ones, like debugging, the computers are debugging software, and they were afraid of the byte, the B-Y-T-E, byte, and man, a whole bunch of other really good ones. Absolutely, almost every answer tonight was a winner, in my opinion. All right, one more call out to anybody who would like to check in. Please call K8PVL.
Victor Echo 6 X-Ray Tango Charlie for recheck.
W8IJC link.
Bruce, we'll take your recheck now. Go ahead, man.
Before my Echolink went crazy on me, I wanted to say that I've got a guy that's going to put new window screens in my house. Most of them are just cheap nylon screens, so I'm going to get nice fiberglass or metal screens in there. And if there's a fire, a grass fire or something, that the embers won't get through the windows, the window screen, and cause the house to burn down.
All right, very good. I prefer the metal screens myself. I think they just hold up a lot better than the fiberglass ones. Those nylon ones, they just don't seem to last. They're good for a year or two, and then all of a sudden they just start getting holes in them. I don't know whether it's the bugs eat them or what, but absolutely I feel you on that. Yeah, definitely I would say the metal ones are the best way to go. All right. That puts us into the discussion round this evening, so we'll go right into that. So I was looking into some EME stuff over the last couple days, and because I really I got hooked on that idea, and I thought, is there a better? Most people are using these crazy Yagis with lots of elements on them, but I keep chucking satellite dishes, and I just thought there's got to be a way to make one that works better than a Yagi as a satellite dish. So I think I'm going to look into that a little bit more and try and see what I can come up with. It'll be my first time really building an antenna. I have antenna parts here, and I think I tried to build an antenna once before. I think I still have all the parts here for it, but I couldn't get it to get the SWR the way I needed it to be, so I kind of gave up on it. But hey, that's what we're talking about tonight, antenna builds, and really, more specifically, what's your favorite antenna build? that you've put together over the years. Tell us a little bit about it. I will start with Jeff, KC8LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, sir. Tell us about your favorite antenna build.
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. Probably going to be my inverted L. Build a lot of them, but that's probably my favorite. It's actually loaded. Well, what's to say about it? It runs up about 20 feet or so and then runs out quite a ways. It's strapped for 40, 80, and 160. So, but actually it works on 15 and a whole bunch of other bands. You can touch it up if need be with a tuner. The only problem I have on it is 20 meters. No great loss for me there because I don't work on it a lot. But yeah, just supported at both ends, and it was a fun build and pretty simple. Feed points, a coffee can, and got a couple counterpoises running in the ground to help bring things in. Talked all over the world on it, and like it, love it, and would recommend it to anybody that is working in a small space. It really packs a punch and covers a lot of bands with not a lot of money and not a lot of space. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. With that, we'll pass it back to net control.
All right, very good. And Verted L, that's a good antenna setup. It's not conventional, but it's definitely a good antenna setup. All right, Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet, you've got a few. What's your favorite antenna setup that you built?
I have to go with the same as Jeff, my inverted L. That's like my go-to antenna. It does virtually everything. It doesn't, my vertical gets out a little better on the higher bands, but inverted L works. It doesn't take up that much space, and very happy with it. It works well. That's really about it. Back to net control. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
All right, that's two people who like the homemade inverted L's. That sounds like a good antenna to me, too. How about it, K8TIE? Dave, good to have you with us, and tell us about your favorite antenna build.
Well, I really didn't get a chance to build very many antennas. You guys put in the J-pole, but when I first got in, I was on 6 meters and I got a 5-element beam. And that antenna with the rotor under it really was kind of nice to have. I had about 50 watts on the 6-meter transmitter, and that had 9 dB on the forward lobe, and I could hear stations all the way from Florida to Cincinnati on 6 meters. It was really good conditions then. And I worked out towards Nebraska on 6 meters with 50 watt and 9 dB a gain. And that was really thrilling in a way. But I didn't design it. I bought it. It had its gamma match, I think, which has the advantage that you don't have to isolate the matching network from the boom. So it's kind of a simple antenna to work with. But the kit that I got was all the right pieces and right lengths and stuff like that, according to whoever's brand I got. And I don't quite know what brand it was by now, because that was 59 or 60. So those brands very often aren't around. Like CDR doesn't make rotors anymore, and things like that. But that was my phone antenna at the time. K8TIE, back to net control.
All All right, yeah. There's some guys out there now that make some antennas off the that just sell them on their websites over the internet, and they make some really bang up ones. Lots of people are in the independent antenna building field at this point. It's a pretty cool part of the hobby, that's for sure. All right, we're gonna move down to oh, and you mentioned the J pole up there on top of your place. Yeah, that's those little J poles. They work pretty darn good, and they're pretty quick and easy to make. I've never built one, but I have one here that's collapsible, and it has a gamma matcher on it, so you can get pretty sophisticated with them if you wanted to. All right, we'll go down to Vito, Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. I know you've got an antenna laying around. What's your favorite antenna build?
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India here, and the thousands that I got to choose from. Still new, so I don't have as much. But my favorite antenna from my limited experience has been my quad, and it's a 40-20-15-10 that I had gotten it without a tuner, been able to get on to everything from 160 up to 6 meters with SWRs under 1. That's technically my second antenna, but it's my primary antenna. I love that thing, whether it's a sloper or horizontal. I don't have much room to do it over at the condo. And it's been too light out to hang it up outside at night or in the evening. With fears of getting in trouble for having it up too long. But that's what I typically use when I'm out doing POTA. It's pretty close to being tuned. I just got to get a little better. And I have my own antenna. I guess it'd be my own design. Big dipole loaded with wire stubs to make it multi-band. Taking what I got with the end-fed and made my own dipole.
W8IJC link.
Haven't got much time to play with that. Still got to get the stubs on it and get that tuned in. But that should be done here hopefully in the next month or so. Now that it's hopefully cooling off a little bit and I can be a little more comfortable outside. But Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India, back to next roll.
All right, very good. Well, good quad band antenna is important to have around, and I think that those work pretty well. I know a couple people who use them, and they're happy with them. All right, we'll keep on going down the list. W8KNO, Joe, thank you for joining us tonight, sir, and tell us about your favorite antenna build.
Good evening. Well, I've enjoyed building a lot of antennas, including commercially purchased ones. The one I liked the best of the commercially ones was the A4S, and that's worked tremendously. And I built dipoles and ground planes, but the one I think that I enjoyed the most was I built a multi-band inverted D for field day, and it just seems to work so well. I think that's the best one I've done. Back to you, Nino, W8KNO.
All right, very good. An inverted V, that's actually a pretty good antenna to have and use. It's simple to set up, and we used one for, well, I think for 2 winter field days in a row, and it worked great. I liked working with that, and I think we did pretty good at our first 2 winter field days. So I was happy with our results anyway. All right, we'll keep on moving down the list. Frank, K8ZHH, how about it? Do you got an antenna build that was your favorite?
K8ZHH, antenna build, and I got stuff to build antennas, but I haven't built them yet. But anyhow, we had one antenna build. It was Jeff, Funny, and me. You might remember we was building it for field day. I think it was for 10 meter, or I can't remember. It was a horizontal. It's made out of wood, and it was going to be portable where you could take it apart. The monster was like 13 feet long and 5 or 6 feet high. It was an ugly looking beast. And anyhow, took half a day building it here, and then took it all apart, and we finished it at Jeff's, me and I. And anyhow, we was getting ready to test it. Funny wasn't there; he had to work, and there was only two of us, and we tried lifting it on a pole so we could mount it, and well, we lost our balance, and it fell to the ground and it broke. It was kind of sad to see that ugly thing break apart, but yeah, it was a failure, and it was sad to see it not happen. Yeah, and I haven't tried building an antenna since, but I will in the future. Yeah, that's my story. So this is K8, back to net control.
10-meter beam. That I remember we were trying to make that happen, and for the field day event, and that would have been a great antenna to try out and make it work. But yeah, that thing would have been huge, as big as me. And hey, you know what? It's a learning experience and a great story to tell. Absolutely, especially on a night like tonight where we're all sitting around talking about radios and antennas. All right, we'll keep on going down the list. Tom, K8QWG, good to have you with us, sir. How about it? You got a favorite antenna build?
I'd like to tell you yes, but no, I've never built an antenna. I did put an A99 up this past week, but I have been looking into building a half-wave dipole for 10 meter. That's about all I've got as far as just putting up mag mounts or ones on my back of my pickup. I've never built an antenna yet, but I'm actually really enjoying listening to the different things. I love Jeff's description of the inverted L that he was talking about, so I'm going to look that one up a little bit later. So without any further ado, back to net.
Well, that A99 will carry you pretty far on 10 meters. I've talked to all the way across the pond in UK, England, Scotland, Italy. No real problems on a good day. So definitely don't hesitate to use that over there on the 10 meter side. It'll work just fine for you. All right, we'll keep on going. We'll go to Jim, K8LFR. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. How about you? Do you have a favorite antenna build?
Come on, Nemo. When do I have time to build an antenna? I've got lots of I'd like to build. Eventually I'll get to it, but as of yet, hasn't happened. Both of my antennas are manufactured. K8LFR, back to net.
I know what you need. You need somebody to make you an industrial grade rotor up there, so that you quit going through them. That way you can have it back up there, because I know you burned through several. Hey, that's all right. I've got a beam on my antenna here, and it's pointed towards the repeaters, and at least the ones to the Jefferson and Saybrook side of me anyway. And man, that's it. I don't have any way of turning it. Ever since I put it up there, it's been stuck in that one position. But hey, it's okay, man. I haven't built that. I've only tried to build one antenna myself, and it failed. So there you go. All right, that rounds out the list as I have it. This is K8PBL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. Before I go any further, is there anybody that would like to check in, or anybody that would like to recheck? Okay, nothing heard. Well, let me put a bow on it then. Thank you guys for being here tonight. And ladies, I know there's a lady out there listening somewhere. How about that? That's going to bring us to the end of the net. Thank you folks for being here tonight. Without you, this net couldn't happen. I'd just be sitting here talking to myself or twiddling my thumbs watching TV or doing anything other than this, but it wouldn't be much fun. I always have a good time, and everybody usually puts a smile on my face coming up with great answers for the joke, and this week was no exception to that. All right, Tom, I know you're out there somewhere. NHCT, thank you for letting us use this repeater each and every Wednesday night to host this net on. Appreciate you doing that for us, sir, and making this repeater available to everybody as well. Those currently serving and retired from service to our country, thank you very much for your sacrifices. But you will not be forgotten in my eyes. This is KE8PVL. I'm going to return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that might be considered. Be good to each other, everybody. KE8PVL is clear.